Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over the Boar, and then shortly after this video goes up, I will also be uploading a video on the Gamma Core. Now, the 5 new Incarnon adapters are actually able to be purchased in Zarmon for 120 platinum each. So if you have the spare platinum, if you've been farming Wisp sets and selling them, go ahead and go purchase them because it saves you a lot of time. When you purchase them, you also get all the materials to just install it automatically into your weapon. So I was able to complete all 3 nodes for 2 of the weapons in less than 30 minutes. So it's a great time saver if you're trying to get in and out of the game quickly. But with that out of the way, let's talk about the Boar. Let's talk about the evolutions. So for the first evolution, I went with Refeed Bane. This one is just base plus 10, and then every time you reload, it gives you 10, so it resets upon every reload. The other one has to do with Punch Through. If you need Punch Through, then go with that one, but this is a beam weapon, and you'll see that in the gameplay here, so I instead just went with the increased damage. Now, the other one is accuracy or reload speed. Those are like the only two that really matter. If you plan on using the base bore more, go for reload speed. But the accuracy is really nice and helps trigger Incarnon charges much quicker, considering this is a pellet-based shotgun. And then for the last one, I think it's a no-brainer. Plus 20% critical chance is huge. At base, it gives you 120 if you have, critical acceleration and whatnot in your build, which is super, super solid in the Incarnon mode. The other options are, all status or crit and status, but I think the critical chance and increase to critical damage multiplier is the way to go. Now, I actually have a number of builds. This is my non-Riven build. Do not mind the 10 Forma. It does not cost 10 Forma to make this build. The Boar has been out for a very long time, and I have changed my build on this weapon a number of times whenever new mods come out. So don't worry about that. It's more likely a 6 Forma build. So if you don't have a Riven, I would run something like this. Hunter Munitions kind of carries this weapon. It is a very strong weapon, but I think it is kind of weak without a Riven, especially since it's a 5 Riven depth. Having a Riven for this weapon really helps it, especially in the Incarnon mode. Outside of the Incarnon mode, it's great. The Hunter Munition slash procs are insane, anywhere between 50 to 60 slash ticks, and because it's a pellet, and if you have Shotgun Vendetta, which I recommend for this, you're looking at some pretty solid slash tick numbers. Nice thing too is the Incarnon mode actually gains a base heat addition to its status, so you're stripping armor, applying viral, the dream team, so to speak, the meta. So I'll go ahead and show the gameplay for this build, and we'll go over some of the other builds too. Now, I think viral heat with slash is going to carry you in the long run, but what I found with the corrosive is it's actually quite nice for just instant burst damage. So here we go. If you see this, it is a beam weapon, but when you actually shoot the targets, it starts to connect to all of them. You can kind of see those blue lines there. It's quite nice, and you are applying a lot of slash, heat, and viral. Now, obviously, I was looking down at them, but as you can see in the back there, it is kind of connecting between them. It is very unique, I would say. But is it very good? Well, I would say yes, but I'm kind of more used to weapons that kind of kill a little quicker. This is definitely a fun weapon, but I wouldn't say it's incredible. Now keep in mind this is with the viral build. See, my thing is I mean, this is my personal definition of a good weapon. If it takes too long to kill an enemy, I don't consider it good. All right. Now, I know we're in a slash meta, but I find that the weapon takes a little too long against those enemies, right? So when I do my testing, I like to test against the most common tough enemies you can find, which is the corrupted heavy gunners. Now the Eximuses and stuff are obviously tougher, but they come out, every once in a while. Even in Steel Path, they're there, but you're most likely going to find those guys for example, if you were in a mission type like Moat. Now that was viral heat with slash. What about just corrosive, right? All we have is corrosive heat, okay? Now this does have a Riven. It's just multi-shot with the little punch through and critical damage. So you kind of see exactly how it works with a decent Riven. Okay, so go ahead and activate the Incarnon mode. See, that accuracy is really nice because I was able to activate a shotgun Incarnon with just 2 shots. So here we go. We'll activate it. You're thinking, wow, this sucks, right? Kind of, at the start. But once you actually get Shotgun Vendetta procced, you'll notice that the corrosive actually seems to kill a little quicker. It's actually quite nice. There's not as much waiting around. Now that is due in part because of Shotgun Vendetta and all that extra multi-shot. But you're going to want to really move around with this weapon in order to connect to the other enemies and chain through them. It is not like the Torrid. It is not like the Nucor or Cycron that kind of just connect automatically and perch off enemies. This one you really kind of need to look at the group of enemies and control the way the beam is actually functioning. So I'll go ahead and reset and activate. And as I'm shooting them, you're going to be connecting to them a lot easier. And notice how good this is with corrosive. Just corrosive heat. I find this to be a little bit better than viral. Now, obviously, the build you choose is going to depend on what faction you're facing. But as far as I can tell, this is pretty solid. Now, keep in mind, too, you are seeing some orange crits in there. But this Riven does not actually have any crit chance in it. So that's corrosive. Let's take a look at the last build I have. This is going to be a Riven with a lot more crit and hunter munitions, and it's running with viral. Okay, so this is also running Shotgun Vendetta. I elected to go with that just because it's a beam weapon, and beam weapons with a ton of multi-shot is incredibly strong. Very, very strong. Okay, notice there we had quite a good amount of slash procs. 60k, 200k thanks to Shotgun Vendetta. It's pretty solid. Now, obviously, that is with the crit chance Riven, but how are we looking here? Yeah, it melts a lot quicker thanks to the added crit chance. But in my opinion, it'll kill a little bit quicker than the corrosive, but that's just thanks to the Riven. I would honestly say that, in my opinion, corrosive seems a little better unless you have a really, really strong Riven, such as this one. Due to the fact that the negative on this thing is minus impact, which is the primary status on the Boar without the Riven here. So it goes up to 81, and then if you go down here, it loses it. So if you have the Riven and you plan on running the base mode, maybe look for one without impact, so that way it heavily weights towards the other statuses you actually care about. And obviously, you know, I'm running Chilling Reload because this weapon is a little slow on the reload side. But overall, I would say that this Incarnon is actually pretty decent. I don't know if it's really wowed me, but I think it's pretty solid for the most part. I'm actually more interested in the updates the base mode received, because as you saw, it's just one-shotting these guys. I think that's pretty impressive. And this is a semi-auto, so you can just, you know, absolutely shred them. And if you had you know, punch through or something, this would obviously make it really, really strong if you wanted to go with that first evolution with punch through. And that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm trying to get these other Incarnon weapons out as soon as I can, so you guys know which ones you want to buy or which ones you want to farm. Considering if you farm them, you can only pick 2. but if you buy them, you can buy all of them, but it's, you know, like 650 plat for everything, so keep that in mind. Or 620, I should say. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the builds in the comments. You guys always have really good opinions and suggestions on my builds. I appreciate reading them. So stay tuned for the Gamma Core, and if I have time today, look out for the Gorgon and the Angstrom. But with that out of the way, again, thank you so much for watching. Peace out.